Yeah. And by the way, and you hit a very important point there. Take action doing something. It may not be the end result. I was just reading this story about Gene Hackman, how he had this overnight success in this one first movie that he made. And he said, but the overnight success took him 15 years to
Yep.
get, to create through the little bit parts here and a little bit part there and in washing dishes or whatever it was that he did. Um, and so the idea of just taking action, and I didn't wait to try to make a difference for people. I wasn't waiting to find the job to make the difference. I wanted to make a difference every day. I made a difference, with the kids on my bus. I mean, I wanted them to feel great. I did things to try to uplift them and to give them little insights. In fact, I used to take and write a little proverb of the day. And,
Mm.
and I would just a one-liner, right? One-line proverb, right? And I would tape it on the dash of my bus. So as they're walking down the aisle and they come down the steps, there's this little proverb right there on the front that they can read, right? And so you think, okay, some read it, maybe they don't, I don't know. But one day I forgot it. And three people said, hey, here's the saying. And I go, yes, yes, it's so cool, right? So, I mean, you wanted anything you can do to make a difference. This one day, this gal, and she was one of these hard-nosed kids, troublesome kids, kind of thing
Mm.
and everybody gets off the bus and, she's about 3 or 4 rows back and she comes walking up real slow, you know, and I don't know if she thought she was going to irritate me because I got to get to my next stop, right? But I just looked at her. I said, Amy, I said, man, I said, it looks like you've had a bad start to the day. Yeah. And I said, but Amy, I said, listen, I said, Amy, I said, do you know what your name means? Because I would study the meaning of names. And she said, huh? No, don't know what happened. I said, oh yeah. I said, Amy, I said, your name is very special, very significant. I said, Amy, your name means what? And that means no matter what anybody says or anybody thinks, you are a beloved person. And you have the ability to make a difference for people that nobody else can be because you're a beloved person. So don't ever forget that. Oh, she popped off the bus. I never had another problem with that kid for the rest of the year. I mean, it's just like it just blew the head, her head right off the top, and I mean, it was just amazing. So, I mean, you never know, you never know. So just doing whatever you can to make a difference for somebody, and so I didn't wait till I found the job that allowed me to make a difference. I wanted to be able to make a difference immediately. I mean, while I was in the process. And so, you just do what you're the best at every day, and eventually you'll end up in the right place at the right time.